the first thing I want to do in this segment is more focused on the Krav Maga offering that you guys have. We'll do something for CrossFit later on, but what is Krav Maga? What is Krav Maga?
Krav Maga is the Israeli self-defense and fighting system. It was developed over in Israel where everybody has to do a mandatory stint in the military. So they were looking for something very practical to teach their people quickly so they could get them up and running where everyone's going to have to serve. So it had to be something that everybody could do, wasn't super fancy, wasn't meant for the total athlete, something everybody could do.
Excellent, excellent. So you kind of mentioned a couple of things, something easy for somebody to do. And so that kind of throws us in this martial arts kind of genre or whatever. What is the difference between Krav Maga and, let's say, people see Taekwondo for their kids or Jiu-Jitsu or MMA stuff or whatever. Give me the difference between what is Krav Maga a martial art, and if not, why and how?
Well, we're certainly in the category, and we're certainly borrowing more martial than arts, definitely.
Okay.
Confuse some people. We really train purely for self-protection. We're not doing a sport. We're not going to a tournament or anything else like that. Krav Maga is about protecting your family. So we kind of tend to say, like, traditionally, or not even traditionally, just modern day martial arts really aren't about the martial side of it. It's about going to a tournament or going to a sport. We're not training for a sport where, the referee's going to pull that guy off of you. Krav Maga, nobody's going to pull somebody off of you on the street. If you're lucky, that would be great. That's a great day. You're really lucky somebody who was there to help you. So we're not training in a sport aspect. Are there aspects of a Krav Maga that are very similar to MMA? Absolutely. Krav Maga borrows from whatever system has something practical that we can take and use. Most of Krav Maga is built on natural instincts to danger, and we build upon those. But we also borrow from jiu-jitsu, from boxing, great kicks from Thai boxing. That's really where the core of the system is practical stuff. We have no bias. If we think something's great, we're not going to keep it in our system because it's not working. Even in the 15 years that I've been doing Krav Maga, I've seen things come and go that we're just going, this isn't, as practical as it was, or especially with more people doing jiu-jitsu now than maybe Taekwondo. We're adding more jiu-jitsu and ground fighting skill earlier on in Krav Maga, where it was more in like the blue belt, brown belt category when I first started. We have moved things around because people are going to face that danger maybe a little bit more. The odds are going to be there that they might get attacked. If somebody's got a little bit of jiu-jitsu or MMA experience, where when I started 15 years ago, odds were you're going to face, maybe somebody with some some karate or Taekwondo kind of as a background, or some boxing. Now, you're seeing a lot more people do MMA. So we address that earlier on. So we've changed techniques and changed escapes. So it's going to work for people that are doing Krav Maga because they don't have time to do 5 different systems. Krav Maga is kind of, let's take it. I don't have a crystal ball of how I'm going to get attacked. So we're doing stand up, we're doing ground, we're doing weapon defenses. We're kind of doing everything and practical stuff that is easy to learn.
Excellent, excellent. So one of the things you mentioned earlier, and one of the other answers is this is an Israeli defense fighting system, and since everyone in Israel has to be there, it kind of speaks to what kind of shape do I have to be in? I mean, do I already have to be in shape? Do I already have to be able to run up Castle Rock, and down? What kind of shape do I have to be in order to actually start beginning my training and being effective?
Our beginner classes are beginner friendly. We're not expecting anybody to be in shape. Now, if you're in shape, you might be able to move faster because you've already got that kind of baseline fitness. But most of our members are not in shape. They're coming in and they're getting in shape. They're kind of love that aspect of Krav Maga that, hey, we're training. We're punching and kicking, doing push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, all sorts of stuff like that in our classes. So they're getting in shape when they're doing it. We don't expect anybody to do anything crazy. We're just going, hey, it's 20 seconds of push-ups. You do 2 and the guy next to you does 20. We don't care.
Got it.
Kind of has their baseline start, and all our members are really supportive. They're like, oh my gosh, I did 1 when I started, like kind of thing. Our people like, hey, you're going to get there. It's just slow and steady. Everybody that tells me they're going to get in shape, I never see them. They're like, oh, I'm going to come back. They'll come into the gym. Well, I'm going to get in shape for this. And we're like, you don't need to be in shape. And it's just another excuse, stop making excuses. you never know when somebody's going to attack you, or you're going to need it, or just feel better, be healthy for the long run. Is another aspect that our members can do it for years. We've had guys doing Krav Maga for 10 years in our gym.
Well, you have somebody in one of the videos. I certainly saw the pictures. I think he's like 65, 70 years old.
Yeah, he's 73 years old. Actually, he just moved to Oklahoma, but we miss him already. But, he was like, anybody can do Krav Maga. We have, 70-year-old guys, and they're working as a 70-year-old guy. Nobody's expecting them to be 23.
Okay, so we talked
their level.
Okay, so we talked about hey, anybody, a beginner can begin. Just get started. And you don't have to be in shape. You'll get
the excuse. Let's go.
So the other thing is, how does let's say I begin and I start to do, how does advancement or belts or those kinds of things that people are familiar with in other, let's say, martial arts that are more of the traditional stuff, how do I know if I'm progressing? What do I need to do to progress?
Well, that's the biggest thing with belts. The belt doesn't matter. You can go to, some of the Karate Kid jokes, Mr. Miyagi didn't have a belt, he bought it at Kmart. But the belts are where we're going to put different curriculum. And then you're advancing. Like, okay, we've gone through, hey, I've been here for 3 months. I've went from white belt to yellow belt. It's achievement. Everybody likes that. And you've obtained, what a lot of people make an excuse of because they're not in shape. You've spent 3 months working on from white to yellow. And then each level is going to get progressively harder as you learn how to train. The drills are going to get harder. The scenarios are going to get harder. And it's also where we have curriculum where we'll say, hey, you're an orange belt, you're working with a yellow belt. In a drill, the orange belt knows that they can work at that yellow belt. We're going to attack them with yellow belt techniques. So it kind of helps us divide up a class as well, but it's also that achievement and that I've obtained something. I've got a goal in mind. People love goals. I'm going to do a Tough Mudder in 3 months and I'm training for it. Well, hey, I'm going to spend 3 months training for this testing date and challenge myself. Can I get to orange belt, whatever belt there is? So that's what our members like about the belts, that they're getting a goal and going, okay, well, it took me 3 months through the basic series. Most belts are going to take you 3 months, and then they're going to jump to 6 months, and they're going to jump to the 8 or 9 month as you get closer into what we call our advanced series. So we have our basic, intermediate, and advanced level of belts. So once you end up in the brown belt, you're in that advanced category. So that's where we expect people to be. As a beginner, you're a white belt. You're a beginner, and that's how it goes.
And I think people are. I think it just makes logical sense. If I'm going to start hiking, I don't start with 14ers.
Yes.
If I'm going to do a marathon, I don't start with 20 miles. I may do something before that, really understand. Okay, what do I need to really work on? And it may not be my physical stuff. It may be my diet. It may be how I recover. So there's other things, and so that makes a ton of sense. And I'm going to close this out a little bit. Anything else? Any other kind of questions you get in the Krav Maga space that you can take a minute to and share some things with? And then I want to end up with you letting folks know how do they get a hold of you? Where's the gym? How do they contact you? That sort of thing.
Okay. I think we covered a lot of the basic stuff. Most people are worried about, what type of shape they're in. Are they going to get beat up? And I'm like, we wouldn't be in business if we were beating people up. You're not going to come in and get beaten up. That's the assistant instructor's role, to attack the instructor and to do demonstrations on. So we get that kind of commonly, like a little bit worried. Is it, our people are, the typical people you see around Castle Rock that you might not know that, know how to defend themselves and are quite handy and could, take somebody down in an active shooter scenario. So that's kind of one of the bigger worries. People think they're going to get beat up. We would be a business if we're beating people up. Like that's the 1% that's going to go and do something ultra tough and, they're crazy, kind of, what we say, the extreme, the 1%er. You can get a hold of us at info@rmsdf. You can also call the gym at 720-509-5959 or visit our website, which is rmsdf.com. And we're located over off of Wolfensberger, just down the road on Kenner Street, just past Santiago's, which most people, I met a couple people today, and I'm like, hey, we're right past Santiago's. I know exactly where we are. We're down there right at the end of the street, pretty easy to find, Central Castle Rock.
Actually, let's throw in a good thing for Santiago's because they actually really do have great breakfast burritos, really good tacos.
Yeah, it's a few people's Saturday class reward that they're going to go to Santiago's after they
do it too.
Gym on Saturday morning.
I do it too. Hey, John, thanks for taking the time. I think we stayed within the time that we wanted to do. We're going to go ahead and close this up.